California Governor Jerry Brown called for $10,000 fines Tuesday for residents and businesses that waste the most water during the drought, as his administration rejected calls from cities to relax its mandatory water conservation targets. The recommendation was part of a proposed legislation to expand enforcement of water restrictions. It comes as his administration faces skepticism from some local water departments about his sweeping plan to save water. Later Tuesday, the State Water Resources Control Board released updated mandatory water reduction targets, cutting consumption as much as 36% compared with 2013. The proposal was largely unchanged from a previous version and did not include the modification some communities had sought. "We've done a lot. We have a long way to go," Brown said after meeting with the mayors of 14 cities, including San Diego and Oakland. "So maybe you want to think of this as just another installment on a long enterprise to live with a changing climate and with a drought of uncertain duration." Brown also said he is directing state agencies to speed up environmental review of projects that increase local water supplies. Mayors have complained that such projects have been delayed by red tape. Brown's actions will not extend to the construction of dams and reservoirs. A legislative panel on Monday rejected a bill, supported by Republicans, to expedite construction of water storage projects near Fresno. State regulators authorized last summer $500 fines for outdoor waterways, but few cities have levied such high amounts. Many agencies have said they would rather educate customers than penalize them. The mayors who gathered Tuesday with Brown did not indicate they were seeking higher fines. Brown said steep fines should still be a last resort and that only the worst offenders that continually violated water rules would be subject to $10,000 fines. California is in its fourth year of drought, and state officials fear it may last as long as a decade. State water officials on Tuesday toured the High Sierra by helicopter, finding snow at only one of 4 sites that normally would be covered, said Frank Jerk, chief of snow surveys for the California Department of Water Resources. "We'd be flying along at 10,000 feet, where there should be an abundant snowpack this time of year, and it's dry, dusty ground," he said by telephone. Brown previously ordered a mandatory 25% reduction in statewide water use in cities and towns after voluntary conservation wasn't enough to meet his goals. The board is scheduled to vote next week on regulations to achieve Brown's water-saving goals, which call for cities to cut water use from between 4% to 36% compared to 2013, the year before Brown declared a drought emergency. Some cities say the targets are unrealistic and possibly breaking the law. Some Northern California communities say their long-standing legal rights to water protect them from having to make cuts to help other parched towns. The current conservation plan is based on per capita residential water use last summer. The board rejected alternatives that reflect greater demand for water in more arid parts of the state and give credit for conservation efforts before the drought began. There are entities like San Diego that are doing a remarkable job on conservation, Mayor Kevin Faulconer said in an interview after the meeting with Brown. "We're investing significant dollars in desalination and wanting to invest significant dollars into water recycling." Karen Trgovsich, Chief Deputy Director of the Water Board, said regulators are focused on saving as much water no matter where it comes from, and proposed alternatives were less likely to meet Brown's 25% savings goal. Fresno Mayor Ashley Swearingen said she was pleased that the governor intended to streamline regulations for such things as her city's planned surface water treatment plant and a water recycling facility. Earlier this month, an appeals court struck down tiered water rates designed to encourage conservation in the Orange County city of San Juan Capistrano, saying rates must be linked to the cost of service. Brown, however, said the ruling does not eliminate using tiered water rates but added it's not as easy as it was before the decision. In a prepared statement, Assembly Speaker Tony Atkins, D. San Diego, said she was reviewing the proposal but it's clear that local governments need additional enforcement tools to conserve water.